Hello everybody, it is currently Monday, January 6th, and I'm back for another weekly vlog. If you didn't watch my last video, hi, my name is Kira. I'm a crocheter and I have a small business called Crochet by Kira. I have way too much yarn, and so for 2025 I'm trying to get rid of it by working through my stash. This week's going to be an exciting week as I have a market on Saturday, I believe. And so we're going to be doing some prepping for that. Last week we were able to finish off 17 skeins of yarn in 3 days, so that was super exciting, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat that this week, but I think with all the prepping that I'm going to have to do, that we might get close and might even beat it, so we'll see. I am going to be starting off this morning with a whip. I started this on Christmas, and it is going to be a market bag for my grandma. I did make a good amount of progress. I'm not sure how many rows I'm supposed to have total, but this skein of yarn is a bit small, so I'm hoping that in working on this we can finish this up. For this pattern, I have been using the YouTube video by Stephanie Zed and have been following along with that. So I just went ahead and checked, and for this bag you need 32 rows of this mesh part, and I only have 19 currently, so I'm going to need 13 more rows, which might take a bit, so I'm going to go watch my show. So I'm about 20 minutes into crocheting and I have some unfortunate news. I noticed a mistake. I missed this stitch 11 rows back, so I now have to frog about half of my work. So much fun, but I should have time to get to at least where I am now, if not maybe hopefully finish the bag today. I'm back. I made it to the end of my first skein of the day. I went and was able to get all the way back to where I had to frog from. It's been around 2 hours now, and thankfully I do have another skein of this yarn laying around. This is the Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn in the shade Warm Brown, and so I'm going to tie this on and hopefully finish up this bag. Okay, I am back. That did take a while. It is now 1:30. I started this project at 9:30 in the morning, but our bag is done. The ends are all sewn in. I made the straps a little thicker just because they do stretch out over time, but I love how it came out, and overall we finished the one skein of yarn that we had, and then this here is all that's left of the second skein, so this will not be added to our skein count, but I am going to add it to my scrap bin. Hello, I'm back. It is now 6:30 p.m. I had to run out and help my grandma with a few things, but now I'm back and ready to start crocheting again. I'm going to go through my yarn stash and look for some yarns that are a little bit small that I can use up in a quick project. Okay, I'm back. I found this Juicy Couture Sparkle yarn in the shade Pearl, and even though it's not a small skein, it's still full, I will be able to get 4 scrunchies out of these, which is a quick project. Each scrunchie takes me around 15 minutes to complete, so this should be around an hour to finish this skein. I'm going to get back to watching my show, and I'll update you when I'm done with all my scrunchies. Okay, I am back. It is 7:20 p.m. and I finished the 4 scrunchies. I did not weave in the ends yet, but it finished off the entire skein perfectly, so I'm going to go and add these into a pile to weave the ends in tomorrow morning and find something else to do for the meantime. So I've decided that I'm going to continue working on the skirt that we started in the last video. This is how far we got, and then this is how much of that skein that we have left, and then I have a few more to work through. So I think I'm going to try and maybe work through a couple of these skeins tonight. We'll see how far I get. It is now 8:05 p.m. I finished the skein of yarn, so I'm going to tie on this next one. Okay, I'm back. I just finished The Haunting of Hill House. It was great. If you have not seen it, go watch it. I loved it so much. But this is the progress on the skirt. I did not finish the skein, but it is very close to being done, but my hands are beat, so I am going to stop for today, and in the next clip it'll be tomorrow and we can see what I end up making. Good morning everybody. It is now January 7th. It is a Tuesday, and for my first project of the day I'm going to be taking this yarn in this yarn, and I'm going to be making otters with it to market prep. I've just finished up 3 of the heads, so I'm going to go ahead and add on the next color, finish them all up completely. Okay, I just finished up the 3 little otters. They turned out really cute, and they're pretty decent size. It's almost you know, like it's around my hand, so I could probably charge $10 for these. My darker brown skein is kind of getting a little messy, so I might find a project to use this or wind it up, but I'll update you in the next clip. So I went ahead and made this little bat using a free Instagram pattern. Not the biggest fan of how it came out, if I'm completely honest. But this is how much yarn we have left from that skein. I'm going to go ahead and add this onto the blanket. So I just finished adding in this brown skein to the blanket, which means that our first skein of the day has been completely used up. I did forget to mention, but yesterday we were able to finish off 3 skeins. So now I'm going to take a look. Maybe I'll work on my skirt some more. Maybe I'll find a quick project to do, but I'll update you in the next clip. So while I was looking around, I found this itty bitty scrap of red that I'm going to add up onto my blanket, which will count as getting rid of a skein. And then I've also found this beanie yarn. It's for the chunky beanie wool ease, but it's the last skein I have of this, so I figured I'll use it up, make a beanie, add the rest onto the scrap beanie that we started making, and then I'll have 2 skeins of yarn out of the way super quickly. Okay, I just finished up my beanie as well. It turned out a little weird, this yarn. I found that it like shed quite a bit. There's like a bunch of little fibers in here that kept on, like as you can see, pulling out. So yeah, I'm not sure why it's like that, but I do like it. I like the color. And then this is how much yarn we have left, so I'm gonna go and add this on to the scrap beanie. So here's how far I got with that scrap beanie. Unfortunately, I only needed 2 more rows and I ran out of yarn, so this will have to go back in the bag, but we finished up this last skein of the Wool Ease chunky yarn. So now I think I'm going to resume working on my skirt again. As if you remember from last night, we only have this much left of this skein of yarn, and then I think I have 2 more. So in theory I can get through all of it today, but they do take a while to get through, and 1 row around the skirt is taking me about an hour now. So we'll have to see how far we can get. So yeah, my plan right now is to work on the skirt. Okay, I have just finished up that last skein of yarn, so I'm going to tie on another. Taken a little break of working on the skirt, but I did find this yellow scrap, so I am going to add it onto the blanket, and then we'll have 1 more skein done. And here's the scrap added onto the blanket. So I was just looking, and I have this huge basket full of scrap yarns, so I think I might want to pull some out and do a little scrappy project really quick, since I am counting each of these little scraps, no matter how big they are, as a skein, since it was all at one point 1 skein, and they are now being taken out completely from my yarn stash. So I think I might dig through here and find something to do with some scraps. So I've gone through my bin just a little bit here, and I pulled out these skeins of yarn. I think that the colors all work really well together. I'm a little iffy on this brown, but I think I'm going to double strand it so that it blends in better and make a little scrap bag. So like I said, I'm going to be double stranding this. I'm going to use a 5mm hook, and I'm going to freestyle a little bag really quickly. I'll make a note of whenever my scraps use up, since I'm using different size scraps when double stranding. Like obviously this one will work through faster than this will, so I'll make a note to film every time I finish a scrap. It hasn't even been like 2 minutes later, and I finished up 1 scrap, so I'm going to tie on the next thing. With this pattern, I just changed to the length that I want for the width of my bag, and now I'm going to work in the round and just build it up. I've just finished up this pink scrap, but here you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm just starting from the bottom, working in rounds, and building up the sides of the bag, and it's starting to fold in on itself. So I'm now going to tie on another ball and get started. I haven't even made it back another row, but I ran out of the second strand of scrap yarn, so I will tie on another. I'll finish with the next scrap. I have now finished up this purple scrap, going to tie on another scrap. I have now finished this blue ball of yarn. I have now finished this next scrap. Now we finish this pink skein. The sun's starting to go down, so the lighting's getting a bit worse, but we finished off this blue skein. And we just finished up this purple skein here. Good morning, everyone. It is now Wednesday, January 8th. I forgot to update last night, but I went over to my boyfriend's house. I didn't do any more crocheting, and I finished 15 skeins of yarn yesterday. I also forgot to show, but I did end up crocheting a little coaster halfway through making my bag. It's with Lily Sugar and Cream yarn, and I used a 4.5mm hook and a pattern I found on YouTube. I think it came out cute. I might make a few more in different colors, maybe sell little sets at my market. And then as far as the bag goes, the bag's looking like right now, it is getting to a good size. I might crochet like another inch or two on and then add the straps, but I love how the colors are coming out. I love when I double strand these bags because it makes the colors look so much more tied together, and I just, I like the way they come out. But yeah, I'm gonna keep on working on this until I finish off the balls of yarn or I finish the bag, whichever comes first, but you'll be the first to update. Okay, so I just finished this green ball of yarn, so now I think I'm going to start working on the handles. I'm going to work my way over here, and I haven't decided if I want to just crochet back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until I get to the other side, or if I want to chain and then crochet along like that. I feel like this would be more sturdy, but this would be faster, so yeah, I'll figure that out and get back to you. For this strap, I did decide to go single crochets back and forth and created the handle, and then I decided it was a little plain, so now I am surface crocheting a flower on, but I ran out of this purple color, so I am going to tie on another skein. I'll update just as soon as our color changed to this pink. We ran out of blue, so I'm going to tie on another. I've now finished up the bag. I love the little flower detail. I think I really pulled it all together. I haven't sewn in the weaved in the ends yet, but I'm going to add it into my pile of things that I need to weave ends in for. And I think I want to make another bag. Maybe we could play around with, like, instead of a flower, like a few like spirals, or maybe like make an applique of a star, or yeah, just experiment with fun little shapes and colors and make another bag. I'm gonna look through my scrap yarn basket again, maybe dump some of it out so I can see some of the colors further down into it, and pull together a new color scheme. This is the new color scheme I've pulled together. The colors are a little darker than they show up on camera, so I'm kind of going for like a muted, darker color palette. I'm gonna get started. The dimensions are going to be a little different than the last bag just because I didn't count how many I initially chained, so I'll update you whenever I finish a skein. Just started chaining to work on this new bag, and I've decided that I don't want it to be a plain rectangle bag. I kind of want to experiment with a drawstring bag, so I'm going to actually start with a magic circle and start building the base. I'm back, and I have finished another skein of yarn. Right now I'm whitening this base, and then I'm going to build it up kind of like a tube to add a drawstring and then a flap to go over. But I wanted to check in and say that I finished a skein of yarn. Now finished off this teal skein. I crocheted a row of back loop only single crochet, and now I've switched to a half double crochet so it's faster, but this should start pulling up and becoming kind of a bowl shape. As you can see, it's starting to shape and curl up, and I just finished up this camouflage scrap of yarn. Now finished up this pink yarn. I have now finished up this brown skein of yarn. Now finished this gray yarn. I just finished up this pink scrap. I got a little tired of working on the bag, so I went ahead and took that giant pile of yarn in the corner of my room and I added it all into my yarn organizing bins, and I was able to fit almost all of my yarn. As you can see, it's not very organized, but I'm really happy that I was able to, for the most part, all fit. And as you can see, here's all the yarn I have left. Overall, I am really happy that I chose to do that, because even though it's been around a week and a half of me doing this, I have already cut down so much yarn, and just visualizing how big that pile by my bed was before I started this and then now, even though I did have a few empty cubbies, it's just mind-blowing to me, and it definitely motivates me to keep going. In cleaning that pile out, I also found these 4 scraps of blanket yarn that we can go on and add to the blanket for my dog. Are those 4 scraps added on to the blanket? Decided that I'm going to make another market bag, and I'm going to use these 2 skeins of Lily Sugar and Cream. They appear to be just very slightly different dye lots, but hopefully it's fine. Okay, I'm checking in really quickly. I'm making the smaller size market bag that the video mentions, just so that it would be quicker, but I am over halfway done with the body part. I still have the straps, obviously, but I finished the first little cake of yarn. Okay, I am back. It is now 3 p.m. and I finished the bag. It came out cute. This is, once again, the smaller size. Once I added on the second skein of yarn, you can definitely tell that they are a bit different. You can see that this is lighter and this here is darker, but at a distance, like, it's not that big of a deal. And then as far as yarn, this is how much yarn we have left. So I'm probably gonna make 1 or 2 coasters and then add this to my scrap bin. I'm back. I finished up 2 of these coasters, and this is how much yarn we have left, which is not very much, so I feel fine adding this into my scrap bin. I'm back. It is now around 8 p.m. I had to step out to do some volunteering, but while I was over at my scrap bin, I noticed these 2 skeins of Lily Sugar and Cream that are quite small, so I think I'm gonna try and make coasters with these. I am back, and I have made 3 coasters. I made 2 in this color, 1 in this color. This is how much yarn I have from one of those skeins, and then this is the other. So I might weigh this tomorrow and see if there's enough for another coaster right now, but for right now, they are gonna go back into the scrap bin. And then it is only 8:30 p.m., but I am really tired. I've been crocheting all day. I mean, the little market bag took me around 3 hours, and I was crocheting straight, so my hands hurt, and I'm gonna give myself a little break. So, good night. I'll talk to you in the morning. I almost forgot to mention, today we were able to finish off 15 skeins of yarn, which is great. Good morning, everybody. It is now Tuesday, January 9th. To start off the morning, I think I'm gonna get out my Sentro knitting machines. With my Sentros, I have the 48 pin and then the medium size one, I think that's the 40 pin. I make a bunch of beanies and I make ear warmers. So I'm gonna start off the morning by making beanies. I have one currently halfway done in the Sentro, so I have to finish that up, and then I think I have enough yarn to make another. So right now I'm making a scrap beanie using some scrap yarns. I have 89 rows cast on, and for the beanies I like to do 130 rows. For these beanies I like to use Caron Simply Soft yarn. So I have this full skein here of this color called Wisteria, And then I have a few smaller scraps that we can use up. So for this, I'm just going to tie on one of these scraps, see how far it gets me. If I need to, add another scrap and then cast off. And then I want to make the full skein beanie. So with that, we finished up that brown scrap of yarn. However, I'm going to move locations to the kitchen where I have a larger countertop because I found that the little suckers at the legs don't like to stick to my floor and they stick better down there. So I just finished up the first beanie. I'm going to cast on the second beanie, which is going to be our full skein Wisteria Karen Simply Soft. Since it's been a while since I've made these, I just remembered that it is 140 rows, not 130 for a beanie. So the last one we made is a little short, but I think it's okay because 140 makes a beanie with a very large brim, so I think it'll be okay. Okay, so I just finished this beanie. The splotches of color came out interesting. It like kind of striped, which I don't know how to feel about. We'll see when I sew it all together. But I do have 2 balls of scrap Cairn yarn and it's in the same color, so I'm gonna weigh it and see if it's enough to make another beanie. Okay, so I just weighed them. This was 135 grams. And then this was 137, so this also has scrap yarn, so this is more than enough to make another beanie. So I just added on the first bit of waste yarn. This is how much yarn I have left from the skein, so I'm going to go and add it to my stuffing bag, and I'm going to count this. I am now 67 rows into this beanie, and I ran out of the first ball of yarn, so we're going to go ahead and tie on the second ball. I have now finished this blue beanie, so that is 3 beanies done. This is how much blue yarn I have left, and then for the pink yarn, it's still like a small scrap, so I'm going to wind that into a ball and I'll be back. This is my pink scrap all rolled into a ball. There's a little bit less than the blue left, but this does not count as finishing a skein. This is going to go into my scrap bin. For now though, I'm going to change out my 48-pin Sentro knitting machine for my 40-pin, and we're going to get started on some ear warmers. If anybody knows where I can get suction cups that work for Sentros, that'd be great, because I found that the ones they sent me with my 48-pin ones do not work. They don't stick to surfaces well, and so I've been switching them every time I wanted to go back and forth between them, which is a little bit annoying. So if you know where I can get them, please let me know in the comments. Here I have some yarn for the ear warmers. I like to use Scarfy. This is the color Evergreen Pearl Gray. And then I also have this one, which is Pale Gray Bluestone. And then I have this one, which is Cranberry Black. I have another thing of Cranberry Black, and then I'm not sure what this is. I don't have the label for it, but I'd assume it's the cranberry and then the forest green, maybe? I don't know. I found that this yarn works really well in the Sentro machines, and it makes around 3 ear warmers per skein. So I'm going to start off with this Pale Gray Bluestone and then add this on as waste yarn. I just finished the first ear warmer. I'm gonna get started on the second. Just finished the second, gonna move on to the third. And as you just saw, we finished up the third ear warmer. This is all the yarn that I have left. My arm's kind of sore now from cranking, but I'll find a different project to work on now and update you guys. Hello, I'm back. I've decided that for now I'm going to make a market bag, and I'm going to use these Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarns. It's like this green and pink. I'm not sure what the color name is, but I'm pretty sure it'll work up super cute. Again, I'm gonna make a smaller size just because they're faster. I'm back. I've finished the first skein of this yarn. I am currently on my last row of mesh, and then I just have to do the straps and all of that stuff. So one skein down, one more to start working on. Good morning. It is now Friday, January 9th, I believe, and I forgot to mention last night that I stopped crocheting. I got a little further on the bag. I almost finished the straps and then realized that I made them twisted and had to frog it all. So after that, I just took a break for the rest of the night. In total, we finished 3 skeins of yarn yesterday, which isn't the best, but I mean, we did get a lot of large skeins down to little scrap balls, so that I'm fine with. Today, I don't think I'll be doing as much crocheting. I think I want to like finish up all the Sentro projects and get rid of the waste yarn on them, sew them up, and have them to be finished products for my market tomorrow. Okay, so here I have the pile of ear warmers I need to finish up. Here's what they look like when they're done. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my 3.5 millimeter hook and finish these off so that they are ready to sew together to be like that. Okay, I'm working on sewing these, or finishing them off, but this here's my favorite part, so I figure I'd let you guys watch. All done with one side. I have just finished stitching together our first ear warmer. I'm going to put this in another pile, finishing them off, and then I'll sew them together, and I'll update you when I do that. I have finished up 4 ear warmers. I finished 2 in this gray and white color, and then 2 in this tan color. I started moving on to beanies just because I want to make sure that I have both ready for tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to work on a few beanies and then update you when those are done. I just wanted to come in for a quick update. I have finished 3 beanies now. I'm going to add them into my basket of all my finished projects and either work on more beanies or ear warmers. This video, or this portion of the video, might be a little repetitive. I finished off 3 more beanies, but I've yet to sew them together, but I really want to finish this market bag we started yesterday, so I'm going to work on that. I have finished the straps on this market bag, so I'm going to go ahead and weave in the ends, and we can add it to our finished projects basket. And then this is how much yarn that we have left from the bag. So I'm gonna set this aside. We can make a few coasters with this, and then I'll add it into my scrap bin. I'm now gonna take these 2 cakes and make another market bag. We just finished up the first cake of yarn, so I'm going to tie on the next one. I have now finished the bag, and here's how much yarn we have left, so I didn't finish the second skein, but bag's finished. Okay, so I'm probably going to be done for the night since I do have an early morning to get ready for the market, but I finished up another beanie. I believe that I misspoke this morning. I think I said that I finished off 3 skeins of yarn yesterday when I actually finished up 4, and then today I finished up 1 skein of yarn. Altogether this week we finished off 38 skeins of yarn, which is crazy for me to say, but a lot of them were small scraps that I took out of my scrap basket, which they're still out of my room, so I count them as a full skein since at one point they were a full skein. I just think it's so crazy that we hit 38. And yeah, I can't wait to see what next week brings. Thank you so much for being here, for watching. If you got this far, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. It means the world to me, and I hope to see you next week.